Good morning, Martina. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Martina, before we start, please, would you introduce yourself and tell us who you are, where you work and what you do?
Okay. As you told, I'm Martina. I'm almost 50 years old, and I have been working in this vocational school for about 18 years.
Where is it located? Where is your?
Yeah, we are in Verona, in the northern part of Italy.
Thank you.
I teach English and German. In our school, we have three different branches. We have graphic design. We also have two similar addresses. They are hotel keeping and cooking. These are
hospitality. Hospitality, yeah.
Hospitality, and these are the main issues that we usually deal with.
Okay.
In my school, I have to say sometimes it's difficult to teach a foreign language because the background, the family background or the school background of our students is usually a little bit difficult. They come from different situations. Okay, we don't have the normal student, even if normal means nothing. But
okay,
you can understand what I mean. That's it.
Thank you, Martina. May I ask, you've used the concept of virtual exchange in your teaching and in your school. Can I ask how you used virtual exchange, first of all? How was it taken advantage of?
We used it in two different ways. This is the second year we have used the virtual exchange. Last year, it was totally virtual. This means that the students only connected and worked on distance. So they never met physically. They only had to work on long distance because our partner was in Spain and we only stood here in Italy. We had many sessions so they could focus on their project, working day by day, week by week, but they never met physically. It was anyway.
Can I just ask, Martina, sorry, can I just ask, were these language students or hospitality students? And did you use, what language did you use to communicate?
We used English. Even if our partners were from Spain, we decided to use English because this was also one of our aim. Okay, one of our target was to let them speak English, right. And this was the main language. Even if English and Spanish are very similar languages, and so sometimes they also
Italian and Spanish are similar. You mean not English?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Italian and Spanish are similar languages. So they actually sometimes they used Spanish or Italian, and they could understand each other very clearly. But
and what was the discipline for your virtual exchange? Was it purely to improve English, or was there other content that the students?
Yeah. Actually, the project was based on the making of a video game. So the main topics was actually on realizing a video game.
Yes.
They could understand each other very clearly when they spoke technically, because they used a technical language. And as you know, when you talk about graphic or technology, actually English is the most common language used. But when in the beginning they had to do breaking ice activities, for instance, and they had only to introduce themselves or they had to speak about our town, they were a little bit shy. You know what I mean? This was
how did you overcome the shyness? Did the ice-breaking activities help to overcome the shyness? What did you notice?
Yes, actually they overcome all the shyness in two different ways. On the one hand, I was always sitting by the students, and when they had some some doubts, they asked me. But secondly, I told them, if a word doesn't come, if you don't know how to translate from Italian into English, in my opinion, you can use technology. You can use a translator. I mean, I'm not against technology as Google Translator, but you have to use it correctly. So take your handphone, dial the word, and then find out the meaning, and then you can use it. I have to say, this worked. This really worked, and they felt always more self-confident. And at the end of this experience, they spoke a little bit more fluently. And one important thing I would like to say is that they forgot the grammar, they forgot the phonetics. They only focused their attention on the content of what they wanted to say. And I mean, I think this is the main purpose of this project. One of the main purposes of this project.
What I'm hearing from you is the most important thing was that all channels of communication remained open, and that you were encouraging them to not worry about that grammar or the phonetics, but just to somehow communicate using technology, but not cutting out people, using technology to bring people together in a way.
Yes. From this point of view, I think that we reached our goals.
Right.
And this year, when I met the students, they were, I repeat, they were more self-confident. And when they have to say something, they just say it, even if they don't know all the words, they are not shy. You know, it's always difficult when you have to use a different language, because you don't want to make mistakes. That's normal. And I also think they are so young, because we are talking about students that are 16 years old. And so they are very young, and they have all structures of fears sometimes, because they are so young. It was not easy, but at the end they were very happy, and it was everything very satisfying.
Would you say that the confidence building was one of the main advantages that the students gained from the virtual exchange experience?
Yes, I would say that's one of the goals that we reached. Something changed. Even if it's always very hard to understand. If you don't work by this side, you cannot understand it, but actually something changed. For instance, now they are friends. They share
with the Spanish counterparts, you mean?
Yeah, also, yes, they kept on building the relationship, even if on a long distance.
Right.
That's something different from this year. This year there was something new, because we didn't only do long distance connections, but the schools made a student exchange. So for 2 or 3 weeks, my students went to Spain, and they also made something like an internship, something similar to an internship. They worked with the other school. And
how would you say that using virtual exchange in this way impacted the project, and impacted, for example, the fact that they actually did a physical mobility after? Did that virtual exchange help? How did that virtual exchange impact on physical mobility?
Of course, this year was something completely different. They gained something in terms of autonomy, of self-esteem, of self-confidence, and they also had the chance to visit another country. When at the beginning I told you that sometimes our students have some problems for their family background or their economical background, means that the most of our students don't have any chance to go abroad. I mean, we normally think that it's normal for a student to go abroad for a certain period to improve the English language or the German language. That's not true.
No, it's true. This percentage is very small who actually
Yeah.
take advantage of this option. That's true.
Yeah.
For financial or other reasons. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
That's it. And so they had this chance to go abroad for the first time. They had to take to fly. They had to stay alone, far from the families, from the school. There was a teacher, there was our teacher, who was there as a tutor, but actually they were alone.
Right.
When you say learning by doing, that's the example that fits perfectly, because they learned a lot of things. They also met another word, another school word, completely different from ours.
Absolutely.
So I can only say that was everything positive, really.
Right.
It was totally positive. There are no critical points, because everything was lived as a positive experience, and they gained a lot of how to say, they really felt that they were learning something more than class life. There's one another thing. Normally when they are in the classroom or they are in the lab, they learn a lot of things, but it's something a little bit passive. When I think about my language, or sorry, my subject, sometimes I have to learn long lists of terms for a test, for instance. But after a couple of weeks, they forget everything. When they do this kind of experience and they have to use the words or the expressions, they really live them. And that's the difference. Everything makes sense. And they learn that everything they did in the classroom or in the lab have a sense. And this is the sense of everything. I think so.